It's lager time. Yay! Lager time. Poems, stories and thoughts. By me, Paul Cree. Who else?
Greetings, bonjour, what's happening? Welcome to Lager Time. My name is Paul Cree. Lager Time is my podcast where I share bits of writing that I'm working on. Poems, stories, thoughts, music, lyrics, that kind of thing. Been doing it for a few years. So this week I'll be sharing the fourth chapter in a short story called Way of the Kip. If you want to listen back last 3 weeks, you'll get the first 3 chapters, but I'll tell you what's been going on with that shortly. So, what's been happening out there in Lager Time, Lagerland rather? Well, a little bit to talk about. Not loads, but it's been, first and foremost, it's a lovely day today. I'm a little late putting this out. Just been busy, you know. So it's about 7 o'clock. And I'm in Lager HQ at the bottom of the garden. Being that it's a nice day, there's lots of people out and about. So you might hear some of the kids next door and also my dogs barking at the top. However, sitting above me in Lager HQ, which is like a bunker at the bottom of the garden here in southeast London, we're on a hill, there's a flipping gigantic tree branch sitting on the roof. So I get home on Wednesday. I was doing a workshop in Woolwich at the library there as part of the National Year of Reading. I get home and one of the neighbours who lives below, he's like knocking on the door just as I turn up, and he says, yeah, there's a tree's fallen down. So one of the trees from next door is flipping, a massive branch has snapped off and it's currently resting on the roof. Fortunately, no major damage has been done, but there's a few cracks in here. So at some point, we're going to have to get this flipping big tree branch and all the debris that comes off of it, all of this, I don't know what you call it, whatever this tree produces. It's not even leaves, it's like this fluffy stuff. That's my tree knowledge coming into effect there. And it's everywhere. And it's annoying because probably the last month, every weekend, my wife and I have been doing a lot of work in the garden. And at the bottom here, there's this grassy bit where grass doesn't really grow. So I've been laying down these bricks, trying to like pave it over. And I'm no DIY guy. It's taken me ages. And finally, it's kind of looking all right. And I'm thinking, yeah, oh, well done, me. I've worked hard. And it's as if God has gone, listen, don't get ahead of yourself, son. Wallop. It's crashed a tree on the roof. I don't know, some echoes of some sort of Noah's flood type thing kicking in here anyway. So yeah, we've got to deal with this flipping tree sitting above, and then you're getting into the territory of whose tree is it, whose responsibility, and all of that caper that comes with having a gaff. But anyway, that aside, it's been a good week. I've come from a workshop today, this afternoon. I was up in North London at a primary school, Thornhill Road, working with some year 5s. Had a very fun afternoon. Large up Paul Lyles. I was doing it in his absence. He of poetry on Papa Dom's fame and fame in general. And then last night, I was back at Dream Arts Rep, and I watched a rehearsal of the show What We Do When We Can't Dance, and it was very, very good. So I've worked on that project for like 4 years, but this year I stepped away from it. So I've stepped back from it. I was deep in the project. I was co-running it. And so, you know, running the rehearsals every week alongside Catherine Palmer, doing the tours when the show goes out on tour, because they make a new show every year. But this year I stepped back So I've produced all the music for the show and I've written the script. But a new director, Alfie O'Neill, has come in, who's co-directing alongside Catherine. Catherine kind of has overall eye. And then, I've kind of stepped away from it this year and I've just been doing the music and the writing here in Lager HQ. And so I ain't been in for a few months. So they're 2/3 of the way through the show. They're getting ready for the next performance, which is at the end of May, which I'll tell you about in a moment. But listen, it was really good. Really, really good. Every year, the shows have leveled up. So as a bit of context, everyone that does the shows, they're all from refugee backgrounds. Nearly all of them are new to theatre, new to performance, new to acting and movement and rapping or whatever. Occasionally we've had one or two who've had a little bit of a background in it, but not very often. And of course, all of them more or less English is their second language. But the show is looking so good. It's a good story. It's about a young guy called James who is from outside of London. He's from a small town, nondescript somewhere, right up my street. But he moves to London to study. But the summer before, he meets a girl. He's 17. And basically she gets pregnant. So it's really about those two, but also about his other relationships, and he's a love rival and all of this stuff, and he's in conflict. It's quite a complex, nuanced story, which we've developed with the group. They wanted to, as part of kind of the writing process, really. Although I write the script is very much a collaboration between me, Catherine, Alfie, and then the young people in the group. They make the character, we just go away and shape it for them. But the movement is really slick. They're really tight as a company. They're the best company that we've had over the last 4.5 years. And where I've stepped away, Alfie's come in, directing is very much his thing. I'm not really a theatre director. I kind of I'm a bit of an all-rounder, but not a specialist in that way. And having maybe 2 directors who do, I don't know, it's just looking so much slicker. And I was really proud. I was really proud. And it's obviously improved since I stepped away. But yeah, watched it last night. So if you're around in London, 30th of May, Saturday evening, at the King Alfred Phoenix Theatre in Golders Green, where I've not been before. I think it's a new theatre. You can go see the show. It'll be the next 2 parts before it goes back out on tour. And it will come back to London for the final show in September, and it'll be the full show. The tickets are free. I'll put a link in the podcast. Go support it. It's a really good project. And you'll get to, if you're interested in what I do, you get to hear a bit of the music I've produced and the writing that I do. So, there you go. That's what's been going on this week. Now, before we get into the story, there's one more thing. I think being where we are, what time of year it is, it will be remiss of me not to mention something that is happening tomorrow, the culmination of the football season in the Championship. Now, you may or may not know, but I am a Millwall fan. Come on, you Lions. I've not mentioned too much about Millwall this year. I don't know why, no particular reason, but I do follow. I don't get to many games anymore, but, I'm following. And it's been a very good year. Millwall are currently sitting 3rd in the league and could potentially be promoted tomorrow if Ipswich lose and Millwall win, meaning they will get promoted to the promised land of the Premier League. It's very exciting. It's also very nerve-wracking. And kind of reason there's a few reasons why I wanted to mention it. 1, because it's exciting. 2, I don't know, got this weird feeling, and I don't quite know what it is. Lots of Millwall fans, podcasts that I listen to, people that I follow online, there's this feeling of everyone's quite positive. And of my maybe 30 to 35 years of supporting Millwall, I've never known it like this. The club is in the best position it's been in for years. It's in a good position in the league. It's getting big attendances in the ground every week. For years and years, they would average like 8,000-9,000. They're up to 17,000-18,000. They're selling out quite regularly. This never used to happen. The club have got all these food franchises, and I think business-wise it's doing good. All these tourists come. I guess they probably want to go watch Chelsea, Tottenham, Arsenal, but they can't. But they get these Groupon tickets from Millwall, and then they go and spend loads of money in the club shop. They've got a good youth academy. They've got a good model where they're buying players abroad, developing them and then selling them on at a profit. This never used to happen. And we've got a great manager and a good squad. And it's been a really good season. No one expected Millwall to be here. Getting in the playoffs would be like, okay, that would be great. But to be challenging for second spot, this is nuts. This is flipping mental. And loads of us are like, look, if we don't get second spot tomorrow, we're in the playoffs. But it's been a great season. But I don't know, there's another part of me that's looking around. I think Ipswich, Middlesbrough, Southampton, they've all had their go in the Premier League. They've all had their time. They've all gone up and down. They got the money. Not Millwall. Millwall got in the top division in the late 80s, before it was the Premier League, before all of the money. And not in my time supporting them either. So I'm thinking, come on, please, surely it's our time. Surely. But I don't know, does luck, does fairness come into it? Of course it doesn't. It's like, luck certainly does. But anyway, so I'll be following Millwall tomorrow. I'll be watching the other scores. Yeah, there you go. So, there was a lot of talking. I was thinking, don't talk too much this week, Paul, but here we are. There was lots to say. So, I'm going to do chapter 4. I think it's a shorter chapter this week of Way of the Kip. So, to bring you up to speed, Way of the Kip is another story about this character, Reece, who I've written lots about. Newtown, where he's from, is fictional Newtown in the southeast. You can look at various things I've done over the last few years on Lager Time where Reece is featured. So he has this issue where he's got sleep problems. He's sort of mid to late 20s. He's getting in trouble at work. His life is not really going where he wants it to go. But he's really frustrated that he can't sleep properly. And they have to do this training about bias at work. And he ends up saying something stupid. He gets told off by his manager and he's like, he's not working hard enough. But someone in the training who he works with was talking about, oh, she had a great night's sleep. So he develops this idea for a quest. He needs to find out is what's the secret to like sleeping, like Way of the Kip. So he at the end of the last episode, he goes to Bianca and he asks her for some tips on sleep. And she tells him about what she does, her sleep routine, massage oils and that. So we leave him just as he leaves work to go to the big Tesco in Brixton on Acre Lane to buy a sandalwood candle. So here we are. Chapter 4, The Candle Maker. Bowled out of Brixton Tube with purpose, shoulders swinging. Fought my way through all the young professionals, school kids, crackheads, preachers, activists, charity muggers, drug dealers, incense sellers and locals outside the entrance and over the road onto Acre Lane and arrowed straight, projectile style. The big Tesco. Made it. Deep breath. In we go. It was a 2 and 8 in there. Always was. Stuff in the wrong place. Dairy Lee packs casually dumped in with the bread. An open bag of crisps in the frozen food. It was a big Tesco. Extra branch. Though the extra just seemed to indicate extra space. It didn't seem to be a lot more than a normal branch. But it was a big branch. Surely they would have what I was looking for. The hallowed sandalwood candle. I stopped short of getting massage oils. With no one to rub it in, I'd probably use it to rub one out. That didn't seem in line with my aims. I felt restless, impatient, driven, excited. It was hard to explain. My head was trying to frame this mission like a search for the truth, or something I didn't have the language for. There was some connection to it all. Grief at work, home, the bias, training, lack of sleep. But what was it? The fact that I've been obsessively thinking about this sleep mission for the last 2 days demonstrated that it wasn't just some flash in the pan thing. It was a calling. To what though? Usually I'd get fixated on an idea, like that time I wanted to be an illustrator and downloaded some program from my laptop. It would last for a day, reality would deem it pointless, and the whole venture would slide into a putrid nothing, like a salt shower on a slug. I rarely felt like this. If I was this driven, just for some sleep aids, then surely it must mean something. Bianca's voice came into my head, boosted with reverb and delay for some reason. Self-care, Reece. I'm worth it. Self-care, Reece. I'm worth it. Self-care, Reece. I'm worth it. But then something disturbing started to happen, like a glitch in the matrix, pissing the punch. The tone of Bianca's dull southern accent bouncing around my head began to change in sound and shape to that of some bad parody of an East Asian man overdubbing a kung fu film. Self-care, Reece. I'm worth it. Self-care, Reece. I'm worth it. Self-care, Reece. I'm worth it. Why was this happening? Was this the devil? Had all this introspection awoken some latent bigot lurking at the bottom of my bowels? Was this my unconscious bias? Wait, how could it be unconscious if I was conscious of it? I couldn't stop it. It kept going round and round, as if the gong sound wasn't bad enough. I scrunched up my face and cracked on in my search for the candles, frantically trying to read the signs levitating above the aisles, but way too generalised. These candles could be anywhere, this voice going round and round my head. It was busy in there, but no staff around. Standard. Where were the candles? I had no idea. The thought then occurred to me that I'd never bought any before. I had no reason to. I had this feeling tickling my insides that I was about to do something naughty, like buy a jazz mag or fags when I was underage. It was that, and that bad parody echoing around my head was making it hard to focus. Different voices then began to talk to me. Instinct told me to head to the ladies' toiletries section. Judgment said I was a pervert. Paranoia said it was the bias thing again, assuming that it would be in the ladies' section. I casually strolled past the aisle with all the ladies' bits, couldn't see any candles, carried on walking. I was in the hands of fate. I needed extra help, external help. Gong sound. I saw a staff member unloading a trolley. An older-looking black lady wearing a blue, well-worn and unzipped Tesco's fleece. She looked like she'd been around the block a few times, probably wise. Excuse me, do you sell candles? Aisle 14. You'll find them in the homeware, young man. She had a mild Jamaican accent. Or was it Jamaican? Was it Grenadian? What if she was from Barbados? I wouldn't know the difference. Mate, do I think they're all the same? Who's they? Does that make me a bigot as well? It can't be. It was the same with Eastern Europeans. I can't tell a Lithuanian accent from a Polish one. But wait, was that assuming that they're all white there? Mate, this stuff was doing my head in. I was losing the plot. I tried to put my inner bigot away and concentrate on the following the lady's instructions, the coordinates, the map, aisle 14, homeware. But then the parody voice started all over again, all drenched in reverb. You will find them in aisle 14 in homeware section. Stop it! I punched my own head and then looked up. There was the homeware aisle. I was getting close. I turned into the aisle. J-cloths, anti-back sprays, shoe polish, cushions, matches, Candles, candles, bosh! There they were. They had their own shelf. There was loads of them, untold different varieties. Vanilla, autumn berries, forest pine, sandalwood. Where is sandalwood? Sandalwood, 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 gong sound. There, at the bottom, a sandalwood Yankee candle. I felt my heartbeat raise. I picked it up, closed my eyes and sniffed it. It weighed heavy in my hands. You could clump someone with one of these. That would hurt. Didn't even look at the price. I felt the sudden urge to get back to the flat, lively, and try this thing out. These new feelings on finding and picking up the candles had thrown a fire blanket over the flame of bias previously floating around in my head. Oh, I've lost where I was. Oh, here we go. On the way back to the till, I spied a tasty offer on Heineken's, wallop, in the basket. Then figured I'd need some crisps and maybe a pizza and probably some mayonnaise. Bosh. Walked out with a lot more than that. Loads of toothpaste for some reason and some Kazi roll. But I had the main candles. That was the main thing. Back out onto the madness of Brixton Hill, yet with the calming, mystical presence of a sandalwood candle. Back to the flat. Right, there you go. So that's chapter 4. All sorts is happening for Reece now. He's having to negotiate with his mission and his inner bigot coming out. Just funny that the kind of that inner voice. I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't offend anyone. It's not my intention. But anyway, that's it for this week. I hope you have a lovely weekend. Enjoy the weather. Let's hope I can deal with this tree at the top. Don't forget, if you're interested, £2 on my website, paulcree.co.uk//shop. Raw 64s of Boredom. You can get the ebook and the original EP. I've this week mixed another tune. I've got one more tune left to mix, and then more 64s of Boredom will be coming out. It's taking my time. Oh yeah, also one more large up. I forgot to mention it earlier. I hadn't even written it on my notes. Large up Georgie King Cladzy from Dream Arts Rep. Man like Georgie. He told me he was listening to Lager Time. So large up Georgie, amazing actor. He just gets better and better and better. And yeah, I just wanted to give him a little shout out. So have a lovely weekend. Keep it lager than life. Come on the Millwall. Peas and taters. Ball.
It's lager time. Yay! Lager time. Poems, stories and thoughts. By me, Paul Cree. Who else?